Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to day 15 of Perfect Album Sides. And today in the co-captain's chair, we got Mr. Craig Kaminsky. What's going on, my friend? With
Good morning,
his
Pete. How are you? Glad to be here.
spectacular Adventures of Wood shirt. For those of you here on Sea of Tranquility who maybe don't know the history of the Adventures of Wood, that is actually something from our Comic Book Geezers channel, our second channel that I do with my good buddy Wild Bill and Kirk Manning and other people here and there. And that is one of the shirts we have. That is actually my buddy Bill's idea, his kind of design, which our the guy who does all of our merch, he took the design and ran with it and came up with that spectacular wood shirt, which is this kind of like tree creature. And it's pretty spectacular. So Craig's a big fan.
Just please go out, please everyone out there, go out and get this shirt. Bill needs the love, and you all need some wood.
That's right. So today, like I said, this is day 15 of Perfect Album Size. We've had some really good choices so far. We got two more for you today. So if this is the first time you're watching this is the show that we're doing each and every day throughout May, where we're picking a perfect album side of a classic album that was originally released either on vinyl or cassette or both, where you have an exact, a delineation of a side B, side one, side two, that sort of thing. And every track on that side is an absolute 5 out of 5 star, perfect song. And it's got to have a minimum of at least 2 songs. So all of those albums that have big side-long epics, like Close to the Edge doesn't count, and Thick as a Brick doesn't count, and Tales from Topographic Oceans, all that sort of thing where it's just one long song, that doesn't count. It's got to have at least 2 tracks on the side. So with all that being said, let's hear Craig's selection for today.
Thanks again, Pete. And my choice for today is one that, if you've ever been dumped, or if you've had the problem with your woman, this is the album for you, where not only the songs that I'm going to be talking about, but the songs over on side 2 are also all about anger with that lady. So my choice for today, released April 3rd, 1975, the 6th album from Nazareth, I Give You Hair of the Dog. And specifically, this is the US version that I'm going to be talking about. And once we get to it, I'll explain the difference between the US version and the UK version. So kicking right off, this is with, of course, the band's classic lineup. You've got our hero, Dan McCafferty, on vocals. As Martin Popoff had said in one of his books, his voice is a Scottish national treasure. And on this album, all the tracks, it's just, he just gives a great example of how he can belt out a snarling vocal, but then also be tender and emotive on singing. You've got Manny Charlton on guitar, who also, this is the first album that he produced with a string of albums in the 70s. Does a great job twiddling the knobs on this one. Pete Agnew on bass, who is the only remaining original member of the band to this day, and the late Daryl Sweet on drums. So kicking right off, the first track, this is side 1. So the title track to Hair of the Dog is track 1, starting off with that cowbell. And I'd rather hear this more cowbell than the Blue Oyster Cult, but just a classic riff song that's been covered many times over the last close to 50 years. But right away, you know that you're in the territory where that woman has done you wrong, and you're going to let her know about it. And the chorus that we all know, that now you're messing with a son of a bitch, and
gravelly roar, right? Now you're messing with.
It's just so great. And I remember the first time I heard it, I was a young kid, and I was like, ooh, that's kind of, should I be listening to this? You didn't really hear songs that swore like that, or even on especially on the radio, as you'd come to hear. But just a classic that rings true to this day. And whenever I think if you're at a bar or something and you hear it, you can look around and you see everybody. Yeah, I know this one.
Yeah.
So just a great way to kick off the album. Track 2, the pure, almost Black Sabbath crush of Miss Misery, a song that is just is such a classic, and the riff on that. I'm not sure if it was mentioned on the show that you guys did recently on the Guitarist Corner of favorite riffs from the 70s, but if not, it should have been, because it's just such a great, simple, driving, just a total head-banging riff. And as soon, first verse of the song, you know this ain't no love song. When you hear, since you came into my life, it's the same old situation. Empty days and lonely nights filled with bitterness and frustration. Oh, it's just our hero Dan is just laying into this with just these acidic and venomous lyrics on this. So moving on to track 3, and again, specifically on the US version. The US version is Love Hurts, which is a cover of all things, an Everly Brothers song from 1960. And originally this song, the album came out in April of 1975, but this song was released and recorded as a single overseas in November of 1974. And so when it came time to release the album, A&M Records wisely listened to this song and thought it had single potential and chose to flip it with the original track 3 on the album, which is a song called Guilty, which is a real, it's a fine song. There's no drums on it. Dan gives again, an emotive, heartfelt vocal on it, but I think that's a good song, but Love Hurts is a great song. And
for this country, it was a wise decision to do it.
Yeah, it really worked out well. And on subsequent CD reissues and remasters of Hair of the Dog, Guilty is track 3, and Love Hurts is actually a bonus song on this. But the original Everly Brothers song is a completely different tempo than the Nazareth version. So if you listen to it, it's quite a difference, and it's sort of it's a sweet song because they, of course, the Everly Brothers harmonize so well together, but when the same lyrics are used in the Everly Brothers as Nazareth, but this is where the big difference is. It's how you say the words and how the emotion that you put behind it. And as an example, the last verse of the song in the Everly Brothers version, which is quicker, it'll say, I know it isn't true. I know it isn't true. Love is just a lie made to make you blue. Love hurts. Love hurts. The Nazareth version puts the ooh, love hurts in it. But when Dan says it, you can feel the pain that he's saying. I know it isn't true. I know it isn't true. Love is just a lie made to make you blue. Love hurts. Ugh. And you're just where the Everly Brothers version, you're saying, yeah, love does hurt. If you've been dumped, we've all, I think most of us, you see that road sign that says, welcome to Dumpsville, population U. And the Everly Brothers version is kind of, love does hurt. You hear the Nazareth version and you're like, my God, love hurts. You're just crushed.
Yeah.
So
plus you got Manny's kind of circular arpeggiated guitar chords going on and on throughout the whole song.
Yeah, and it has a guitar. It has a guitar solo. The Everly Brothers version is strictly acoustic, but again, just a heartfelt vocal, and you still hear this in movies and on the radio today, and so it deserved to be a hit for the guys. But after Love Hurts has left you a melted pile of meat with eyes, you move on to what could possibly be my favorite song of the entire Nazareth catalog, and that's Changing Times.
Yeah.
Just the groove and the swagger of this song, and the just the again the venomous, acidic, just crushing lyrics that that Dan gives in this song. It reminds you again, you may have been, you're feeling down in the dumps from Love Hurts, but then you remember you're still pretty pissed off when you get to Changing Times, and just the second verse of the song. Since I met you, don't know right from wrong. Somebody tell me just what's going on. Just can't get myself thinking straight. I'm all shook up and in a terrible state. Sometimes I think I got it all figured out. Then you do something new and it just knocks me right out. And you have to say it like that when Dan just snarls that vocal. I love this song, and again, one of their heavier songs too, along with Miss Misery. Nazareth has some heavy songs throughout their catalog, but they're not necessarily really super heavy, or they kind of cherry pick on some of their albums.
Yeah, their heavy stuff is a little grittier. It's not quite as, like I think both of those songs are a little outliers in their catalog, because they are, especially Miss Misery, which is really metallic and doomy, and they didn't really go that. There's had a lot of great hard rocking songs. I was thinking like Changing Times. I always thought kind of the great sequel to that was Revenge is Sweet, which is another great song, and lyrically kind of follows right in line with what they're talking about on Changing Times. So
or Claim to Fame, which is on No Mean City. It's just a pounding, heavy song, but again, and Nazareth with this particular album, I think this side is just very consistent and everything. There's some of their albums where there's not necessarily a dud that's in between the tracks, but one that's a little bit more somber or that doesn't quite fit with the sequencing. But this, I think, is just perfect for all four songs. And then when you flip the album over, thematically it stays the same with Beggar's Day, Whiskey Drinking Woman, and Please Don't Judas Me. Yep. So every song is about, being wronged by your woman. So again, my perfect album choice from 1975, Nazareth's Hair of the Dog, side one.
Great side. Love it. Love the album. Yeah, there's a lot of really classic Nazareth albums, but I think none of them quite match the perfection of that album. That's just, it has their strongest collection of songs, and No Mean City is great, Loud and Proud is great, Razmanaz is great. They had a lot of really good albums, but I think that one is their bestseller for a reason. So great choice. All right, so I'm going to go to 1984, January 4th to be precise. This album released on the Columbia label and produced by Tom Allom. I looked through the entire Judas Priest discography because I knew I wanted to pick Priest this month, and I'm thinking, I have other albums that I love a lot more than Defenders of the Faith, but on a lot of the other albums that I deem more classic, they're generally speaking on most of the sides, there's at least one track that I like, but don't quite love enough to give like a 5 out of 5 star rating. Whereas side one of this captivated me when this first came out, and it still does to this day. I find side two or side B not quite as strong, and I think that's the reason why Defenders for me is not like upper echelon Priest, but it's not that far from it. But man, Free Will Burning just kind of kicks it off. What a smoker, right? I still remember like when this album came out and buying this, I played side one, side A, like all the time, and then I kind of cherry picked side two. But man, Free Will Burning, killer song, so heavy. And then you got the massive Jawbreaker. Just a killer metal track. And many people have said over the years that this is kind of like, the sequel to Screaming for Vengeance, and the albums are very, very similar. And, kind of, right? I mean, they came out fairly, close to each other. And I think there's a similar feel to these two albums. And that's okay, right? I don't really mind it. Production wise, the way they were writing, I think the band was looking to kind of move on from Point of Entry and get back to being a little heavier. And I think it really worked. So, those are two great tracks to kick off the album. And then, like, for me, one of the great anthems of this album is Rock Hard, Ride Free, which is just so catchy. Great hook, killer riffing, and some fiery guitar solos from both guys. Really, really great song. And then easily the best song on the album, which is The Sentinel, which they still play live occasionally here and there to this day. And The Sentinel is just this snarling heavy metal rocker. I love Halford's vocal on it. The guitar work is off the charts. And it's just boom, boom, boom. 4 really, really, really strong tracks. And, interestingly enough, when you do the exercise of like, all right, what are my 10 favorite Judas Priest songs of all time? Would any of these 4 make that list? Probably not.
Yeah.
But these songs are classics in my mind. They're really, really strong, and they make for such a consistent listen from start to finish on this side. So that's why I chose this as my perfect album side, because I think it is one of the most consistently good from track to track, no hiccup at all on any of the Judas Priest albums. And again, you could argue, any of the sides on Sad Wings of Destiny or Stained Class or Hellbent for Leather, so on and so forth. And there are easily songs on any of those sides that are stronger than any of these. But all of those sides, to me, has at least one track that's like, that's pretty good, surrounded by drop dead classics. Here, you've got 4 extra special songs, one after another. So that is my choice today. Defenders of the Faith, side A, Free Will Burning, Jawbreaker, Rock Hard, Ride Free, and The Sentinel.
I was glad to see 10, 12 years ago when Judas Priest was touring that they dug out Rock Hard, Ride Free and put that in their set. That was cool to see that song performed live, since The Sentinel is a pretty consistent song that you would hear throughout the years. They kind of dropped it a little bit, and here late they've even brought back Free Will Burning when Rob's feeling saucy and up for it for those high-pitched vocals, which is a classic. And that video with the kid playing the video games and the laser lights and everything, it was really cool. That was the first Priest album actually that I bought
there you go.
on cassette when I was a kid, and has a good memories on that one.
Yeah, I mean, it's 84, right? 84 for me is a pretty special year because, I was 18 years old, graduating high school, going to see lots of heavy metal shows, going to college, right? And I have a soft spot for Defenders because, I saw them on this tour, obviously. This was the tour with the, ripping up the seats at Madison Square Garden. I was there, right? Crazy. Wow. Yeah, that was just nuts. And so, I've always had a fondness for this album, but side 2 or side B, you got Love Bites, okay, Eat Me Alive, pretty good song. Some Heads Are Gonna Roll, I've kind of
it's okay.
song. Night Comes Down, that's pretty decent. Heavy Duty is pretty cool. The title track is pretty cool. I don't think any of those songs on side 2 are classics. They're good. There's some good ones on there, a couple that I'm not that into, but man, side A, dropped it. Great stuff.
Yeah, no, so, I agree.
There you have it, everybody. Side A of both Nazareth, Hair of the Dog, and Judas Priest, Defenders of the Faith. Let us know. Defenders of the Faith, not face. Yeah, it's early. I got to get my workout in so I can get my brain working. So anyway, everybody, let us know what you think of these 2 album sides that we are calling perfect album sides in the comments below, and list your favorite perfect album side for today as we arrived on day 15. We're halfway through the month. Hard to believe. May is just flying by already. So stay tuned tomorrow morning for another one, and a day after that, and the day after that, and the day after that. You'll be getting episodes, either me solo or me with a guest. And hopefully we'll have Craig back on again to do another one, either before the month is over, or as it seems, I guess we're going to be doing this in June as well, because that's how popular this has been. So 2 months in a row of perfect album sides. So stay tuned for June. We'll continue right along. So thanks for watching. Visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. Check us out on Facebook. And more importantly, come here where we share time together all the damn time on YouTube. For Craig Kaminsky, I am Pete Pardo. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you. Let's see. Today is Sunday, right? So we'll see you on album homework assignment. Finally, Mr. Chris Allo and myself with George Lemmy officiating coming up just in a little bit. Till then, for Craig Kaminsky, I'm Pete Pardo. See you soon. Bye-bye.